to a new episode of From the Honeycomb, a podcast that creates a spark of positive energy. Here we discuss all things architecture and design, to travel, exploring Vastu Shastra with a modern approach, and I especially love connecting with other like-minded women and sharing their story. I'm your host, Katerina, and welcome to From the Honeycomb. And Jesse, my husband, welcome back to From the Honeycomb.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Happy to have you here, especially because today we are going to be recapping year 2022.
Wow.
Are you excited?
I'm very excited.
Okay, good. It's going to be a good episode. So just so the listeners know, you did not help me prepare this episode, so you have no idea what's to come.
That is correct.
Are you nervous?
Not at all.
No? Okay, you trust me?
A little bit.
All right, well, let's pour some champagne.
All right.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers, my love, to you.
Thank you. To you too. All right, but before we begin, of course, we like to start every episode with sharing something. You don't have anything prepared?
I've got something.
You got something? Okay, good. So, as we begin every episode, we take a moment to think of something we are grateful for in this present moment. Would you like to go first?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm grateful for Betty.
Betty, you want to share with the listeners who Betty is?
Betty is our 1957 Chevy pickup that we bought this year, and which I'm in the middle of rewiring and working on the engine and putting her back together. And just I really enjoy the simplicity of it, and it's very therapeutic for me. It's very relaxing. Just go at my own pace, and really enjoy working on her. And I'm going to be really enjoying driving her soon.
Absolutely. And over Thanksgiving, I got to help you work on Betty, and it is so therapeutic. Like, I've never worked on a car before, and just being able to sit there and just enjoy, the slow, easy tasks. It was really nice.
Yeah.
So I really liked it.
Like grease under my nails. Cuts, and just I just really enjoyed it. I spent all day today there working on her,
and all day tomorrow.
And be there all day tomorrow.
Yeah, no, but it's a fun creative project for you.
Yep. How about you? What are you grateful for?
I am grateful for. Yours sounds really nice. Mine, as I was thinking when I was putting this episode together, I was thinking about what am I grateful for, and I am grateful for the confidence that my parents instilled in me, because I know, kind of a little different than some of the other things I've been grateful for, but I had a moment a couple days ago, and I just walked into something with confidence. I don't remember what it was, but there was a moment where I just thought, whatever, I think it was my last episode about my mistakes. Because my last episode was the Confessions of an Architect, and if you haven't listened to that, I'll provide a link in the show notes, but I talked about learning from mistakes at work and how to handle them, and it really made me reflect on a lot of the jobs I've had, the internships, and just how resilient I am and the confidence I have going into, and even my boss has said it in some of my yearly reviews, he says you just kind of go for it, and you don't worry about the consequences sometimes. You just kind of go for it, and you have the confidence, and you just kind of keep pushing forward. And so I feel like my parents instilled that in me, and the confidence. I think also another thing is I feel like I'm very confident in myself. There's moments, behind closed doors, of course, where there's self-doubt. I mean, you see it firsthand a lot, especially when it came to the exams, but I feel like I have a lot more confidence than a lot of people, and I really believe in myself. I think I'm a really great person. So, little sprinkle of modesty in there, but I feel like I have this confidence in me, and I definitely have to thank my parents for it, and they kind of let me do my thing growing up, and I had multiple interests, and I never really stuck to one thing. Yoga has been the longest thing I've stuck to, and I've been practicing yoga for probably 9 to 10 years now. And I've never really stuck to anything, so they just let me be my own person. So I'm really grateful for that.
a good one.
So 2022 was quite the year. And I know last year when we recapped 2021, we went month by month. And that to me just seemed a little too dull for this year. So instead what we're going to do is we're going to review by the seasons. Winter, spring, summer, fall. And we're going to do superlatives. Am I pronouncing it right?
Mm-hmm.
Superlatives. So we're going to have superlatives for each month, or each season, I mean. And we're just going to kind of talk about those. And you don't know what those superlatives are. So
I do not.
So we're gonna go with that.
Oh, okay.
So the first season of 2022 was winter. So that's the months of January to March. We had the superlative for biggest accomplishment is Jesse got his contractor's license and studied while having COVID.
True story.
So round of applause for Jesse.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was really impressive that you were able to study because you had some brain fog with COVID.
And I was absolutely swamped at work.
Yeah.
I was working like 12-hour days, up super early studying.
You worked on the weekends. You had to work.
I was working on weekends. I was working during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Like while I had COVID, I was working and studying. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we were
sucked.
Quarantined together for a week, maybe 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But that was the biggest accomplishment of winter.
Well, I won the biggest.
Not for the whole year, just for
but
that season.
for between us both.
Yeah.
Wow.
Us both.
All right. Wow.
I know. So the biggest letdown to come from a high to a low.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I think the biggest letdown, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on any of these.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest letdown was canceling our trip to Nicaragua. Because we had flights booked, Airbnbs, stays booked, car rental booked. Now, in hindsight, later on, it doesn't seem like the biggest letdown, but it was kind of a...
It was a financial letdown.
It was a financial letdown.
Because we did not get we only got half of our airfare back.
Yeah. Thankfully, we got our Airbnb, our car rental back, but yeah. And so
from that blessing in disguise, I think we had a better time in Belize than we would have had in Nicaragua.
No, absolutely. And then instead we went to Big Bear, and that's where we celebrated my 30th. We went snowboarding together for the first time, both of us. Maybe your last? No?
It was my first time snowboarding.
Oh, no, your first time.
First time us snowboarding. I snowboarded in
together.
Korea. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah, that's right. I didn't know if you skied or snowboarded there. That's why.
I did both in Korea, yeah.
Okay. Was it your first? Was it your last time snowboarding?
No.
No? Okay.
No, I'm buying ass pads next time.
Yeah, no, we fell way too hard.
Yeah.
Way too many times.
Yeah.
And
my ass was killing me by the time we were done.
Yeah. And I got hit by a skier, which I am a skier. I've always skied. I've been skiing since I think I was like 3 or 4 in Czech. And of course, the one day I don't ski, I get hit by a skier. I've never been hit by a skier like that. Of course, I was sitting on the ground. I still have the bruise. The bruise hasn't recovered, and that was in March.
No.
So that was intense. But then the favorite memory from that time. I know. There's actually one day in particular that I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
And that we haven't covered yet. And that was actually January 1st.
Okay.
So January 1st, we were staying New Year's in Topanga Canyon, which is where we're going this year again for New Year's. And Topanga Canyon is just north of LA, a little east of Malibu. And January 1st, we woke up from our Airbnb and thought, you know what, we're going to go find Lily's. It's called just Lily's, right? Lily's has the best breakfast burrito in the entire world. It's a place we found sometime during COVID. So 2 years ago when we went to Malibu during COVID. Amazing breakfast burrito, just the best. And so as we're driving through Topanga Canyon, it's cold. It's about 40 degrees out. I mean, it's a chilly early morning. And as we're driving out of the canyon to the ocean, we start to see a figure walking on the side of the road. And we're like, what? Who is that? Like, it was like 10 a.m. maybe 11.
No, I think it was earlier.
It might have been earlier, yeah.
Yeah, it was early.
It was definitely earlier. And as we get closer, we realize it's a woman, butt-ass naked, walking towards the beach on the side of the road.
Young.
Looked
like
healthy.
Early 20s.
Yeah, hair was done nice. She didn't have any dirt, any bruises, nothing. And we just drove past her and we're like...
Not even wearing shoes.
Not even wearing shoes. And she just was like casually walking.
Yep. Not at a fast pace, taking her time.
Yeah. So that was like the first thing and this is the first day of 2022. And 2021.
What a year.
Yeah, I know. And we're already like, what a year. And then we get to Lily's. Unfortunately, it was closed. We ended up going the next day. But then we go to the beach we like, which I totally forgot to look up the name. But there's this one beach in Malibu that we really like to go to. And so we're walking along the sand there. What? Don't roll your eyes. We're walking around along the sand, and when we were there 2 years ago, there's a specific house I absolutely fell in love with. Absolutely fell in love with. And when we were there the 2 years ago, I took pictures of it, I think a little bit from the beach, obviously not in like a stalkery way, but like took pictures. I took pictures of the front gate because that was absolutely beautiful. It was just this gorgeous Polynesian, Asian style home, just absolutely gorgeous. The entry gate had this beautiful like medallion woodwork on it. Just looked absolutely beautiful. We got back from that Malibu trip 2 years ago, and I opened up People magazine, and who do I see lives in that house and is selling it? None other than Pierce Brosnan. So I fell in love with this house, found out about this house, read articles about this house. And so who lives there? Pierce Brosnan. And didn't know if the house sold. I think it was up for like 50 million or something when I first looked over in 2020. And I was like, wow, well, when we're walking on the beach, we have to get to the house. Like, I want to see it again. It's so beautiful. And so as we're starting to like get closer to it, there's this figure standing in front. And so for those of you who maybe have never been to Malibu or this specific beach, so all the homes are ocean front, and it's the backyard with some like seawall, so big boulders, and then it's immediately the public beach. So you could literally walk onto their land. There's no big gates towards the beach side, like it's very accessible. And so this figure in all black with a big black rim hat is standing there talking to someone with their dog. And as we get closer, we realize it's Pierce Brosnan, and he hasn't moved from that house because obviously it was for sale. So I got super excited. I turned to Jesse and I said, oh my gosh, should I go up to him and tell him how much I admire his house? His house is so beautiful. And I knew that he raised his two or three sons there. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And I'm like, you know what, that is going to sound so creepy and so stalkerish. But I wanted to tell him out of admiration. So I didn't go up to him. When we walked back the other way, we saw him again, and he was just sitting there, like just kind of relaxing. And so that was kind of a fun little celebrity moment. But that was like the first day of 2022. So that's why I took it as our like favorite memory, because it was just like all these like random acts of like, we're just like, this year is going to be amazing. And then it ended up getting COVID, and then it was kind of a bumpy way after that, and then all the work and studying. But yeah, so that was a favorite memory. And then the unexpected moment from that time.
Wow, it's a lot of categories for each season.
It's 4 categories plus an additional.
Oh, so it's 5.
5. No, there's 4 main ones. Okay, hold on. So, unexpected moment. Do you think you know what the unexpected moment could be for this?
No, I have no idea.
I found my first gray hair.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So that was during a trip to Florida. I did like a 24-hour trip to Florida. I flew red eye from San Diego to Miami to visit my mom because she was moving, and so I had to pick up a lot of my like childhood albums, and I ended up coming home with like 2 or 3 suitcases of just all my stuff. And while my mom's a hairdresser, so while I was there, she was cutting my hair, and she found my first gray hair, which when I came back to California and I told Jesse about it in the car crying, he's like, oh yeah, I saw that gray hair like a couple weeks ago, but I didn't want to say anything.
Weeks, months.
Yeah. So that was the unexpected moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I think just some additional moments worth kind of mentioning. I had a really nice trip to Katerina Island, like a day trip with my cousin, Vedu. And we had a little fun girls' weekend in Temecula at the vineyards. And I also recorded with my very first guest on the podcast, which was with my friend Stephanie in LA. So that was kind of a fun thing. I didn't really have any additional moments for you. Kind of like summarized your...
Yeah.
That's about it. So, all right. Well, cheers to winter.
To winter.
Then there was spring. New season, blossoming season of spring, which we'll have from April to June for our episode. I'm going to leave the biggest accomplishment for the end because I think it's kind of funny. So,
All right.
The biggest letdown of spring
Uh-huh.
was definitely failing my PDD exam for the 4th time in a row.
Mm.
That was the biggest letdown. That was huge. That was my final exam that I needed to pass nationwide, and I failed it for the 4th time. Huge, huge letdown. And then after that, we went a couple days later to our favorite memory from this time, which was our trip to Belize, which was absolutely beautiful with the animals. We saw so many animals. We have 2 episodes on that, which I'll provide a link in the show notes if you want to listen to more about our trip to Belize. But during that time, Belize was something we really, really absolutely needed. And we swam with sharks, we swam with manatees, we made friends with a alligator? Crocodile. And I got to see seahorses for the first time. We pet stingrays. We fed stingrays in the wild. It was absolutely amazing.
Monkeys running around our Airbnb.
Yeah, and seeing Mayan temples. So that was definitely just absolutely amazing. The unexpected moment from that season, was me going to urgent care for the first time in my life.
Oh, yeah.
That was definitely an unexpected time that I had a small ovarian cyst from the stress of the exams and studying, and so that was definitely unexpected because I'd never actually been to urgent care before in my life. So it was a little stressful. But the biggest accomplishment, and I had to kind of stretch this one, and Veru, I don't know if you're listening, but Jesse and I's biggest accomplishment in spring was surviving our camping trip with you guys.
Oh, wow.
I wanted to incorporate the camping trip, but yeah, we went camping to Lake Arrowhead with my cousin and her husband, and we just have different styles of traveling. I'll just put it as that. But that was kind of our biggest accomplishment. It was like our first trip as 2 couples together, and there was some fun challenges and obstacles that came our way, and so I think that's kind of where I'll leave our biggest accomplishment. I know. I don't know. Maybe if she listens to... Then I'll know if she listens to this episode. I'm sure I'll hear about it. And then just some additional moments worth noting during that time is both of our offices actually moved. So our work offices. So my architecture firm, or the firm I work for, and then the company you work for, my firm was in our building for 30-something years. You guys were there for 10-something years. And we both relocated to a new building. So that was kind of a big thing. That was kind of unexpected also. I mean, it was expected, but not expected.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I started studying again for my next exam. And then we actually also had some extended family from Czech visiting during this time, which was, unfortunately, I didn't get to see them as much because I was studying. But that kind of summarizes spring. Summer was a very busy time for us. We really honed in on that summer active energy. Huge accomplishments. You and I both qualified for this category this time. Biggest accomplishment for me was passing my last national exam, PDD. And for you, your biggest accomplishment was becoming incorporated and starting your own company.
Yep, that's true.
It was a huge accomplishment. But the biggest letdown, I would have to say, because in summer we're doing from July to September, is I think one of the biggest letdowns was how sick I got before our trip to Czech, which then made you get really sick before our trip to Czech, and that was a real letdown, how sick we were. And then it just felt like after that I came back, had COVID, and I just haven't felt 100% since then. So that's been that was a big letdown of We had such a fun summer. We found a new beach. Oh, I guess that's I have a bigger unexpected moment. But one unexpected moment is we did find a new beach that we like to go to that you found thanks to a client. And so, yeah, it's been kind of nice exploring different beaches around us because we really used to go to only the same beach. And the crowd at that beach just wasn't our crowd anymore. And so we wanted a more local, just quieter, more peaceful place. So we ended up finding a really cool beach. So, yeah. I'm happy about that. And then the favorite memory, I would have to say, is Veru's wedding. My cousin's wedding.
For sure.
That's definitely the highlight of the July and September was my cousin's wedding. And then I was officiating at the wedding, so that was a really big deal. But it was really special that, even though we were all sick, we made it, we survived. So that was really, really special to be in Czech for my cousin's wedding. And now the unexpected moment is you buying Betty. So I love that you actually brought Betty up in the gratitude, because that was kind of unexpected.
I think it was August.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was the day you became incorporated, and then on the way back.
That's true. Yeah, we did. So I went and saw Betty. I've been following Betty on Craigslist since January. In June, I went up and test drove her, but the guy still wanted, a small fortune for her. In August, I had to go up to Rancho Cucamonga, which is where my accountant's office is, and we had to sign paperwork. And because we live in California, Katerina had to sign paperwork basically acknowledging that she's aware that I started a corporation and blah blah blah, for tax purposes, because and for legal purposes. So we included a trip to go see Betty, because she was only about 40 minutes away from Rancho Cucamonga in a town called La Habra. And so we, on the same day that I officially incorporated, I bought Betty.
Yep. No, so that's kind of unexpected. I think that day, that was a really exhilarating day. I think that was really fun.
Yeah, that was our first joint car buying experience, where we each had roles to play, and how the wife who hates the truck and can't understand why I want to buy it. And,
Jesse told me lines I needed to say and how I needed to act, because when I saw her, I was like, this is so cool. And he's like, you need to act super uninterested. So I was like walking around with my purse and my sunglasses, like kind of making a face, and so it was fun. I really enjoyed a little like acting scene. So
yep.
And we played our parts all very well.
Yeah. Yep.
Obviously. And then just some more additional moments worth mentioning was our trip to Colorado, which was really fun. We had a nice little weekend away at the beginning of August, visiting my grandparents. Had a nice little hike. We hiked the Flatirons, got to see more family. That was kind of a nice little, just fun weekend away. We also went to our first baseball game together.
Yep.
Which was kind of cool. Our first sporting event. We've been to the theater and yoga stuff, but our first actual sporting event.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was our first. So we went to an Angels, and where did they play?
Mariners, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, we're huge baseball fans.
Yeah.
But it was super fun, and we got to go with your brother and his wife, so that was that was kind of fun. And then, of course, one big thing that happened during that time was our 1-year wedding anniversary.
Yep.
So that was cool. That was nice. We went and got massages, although I left the next day for Czech, and I was already kind of sick. But it was really sweet. We ended up making a nice day out of it, I think. We got massages. We watched our wedding videos. We had meats and cheese here. Yeah. Yeah,
because we were going to go out, and after massages, they're so good. We go to Spa Del Rio in Laguna Beach.
Amazing.
And just phenomenal. We've been going there for years now, and so we kind of thought we would do something after massages, but we were just in such bliss after the massage. We don't want to go. We don't want to be around people and ruin that vibe, because we were just so chill after that.
Yeah, no, that's so true. Yeah, we came home and we just relaxed. It was really nice. Yeah, so that kind of closed off summer. Summer was just full of accomplishments, and
I signed for my company, not my own company, but for my dad's company. I'll say, put it that way. Mm-hmm. Signed a fairly large project in summer.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, summer we went full blast summer, mm-hmm. which was really good, and I think we kind of kept that energy going into fall. Oh, we got a cheers for summer.
For summer.
For summer. And then fall, we really kept the momentum going. We really hustled. And the biggest accomplishment of that time was I studied while having COVID and passed my exam and officially got licensed. So we kind of started the year with you having the same experience and then kind of going a full circle moment where I think it helped me seeing you go through COVID studying and work and like how you handled it. You just kept pushing on. And I feel like I thought, okay, if Jesse can do it, I can do it. Well, it was like encouragement, like he can do it. Okay, no, not in a don't give me a look.
That's like, he's such a wuss. If he can do it, I certainly can do it.
No, like it meant like I just was like like okay, Jesse could do this. Like let's see if I can do it too. You were like it was more of an inspirational thing.
Thanks, my love.
You're welcome. Yeah, of course I could do it. But yeah, so that was definitely just like the biggest accomplishment for me. I think.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like absolutely, this whole year.
That's the biggest accomplishment of the entire year.
We haven't gotten there yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, that was a category.
But yeah, so it was huge, obviously. And actually, right before we recorded this, I'm going to start crying. I didn't even cry when we opened up the envelope. But I officially got my license.
Yeah, you did.
Like in paper. Like I know I've been like getting emails and like, but the hard copy.
We've had a lot of officialies.
Yeah. I know. I'm officially NCARB certified via email this last week. Now I'm officially with the hard copy. Yeah, there's a lot of like.
Yeah. Well, of course, you got to celebrate.
No.
All of those.
Yeah. So I'm already going to bring it to work on Monday, and I already have the frame. So I'm going to put that up on Monday. But yeah, so that was the biggest accomplishment. As far as like the biggest letdown of that time, I have to say, and I don't know what your experience has been. And I should say fall is from like October to December. But for me, it's just been how sick I've been. I had the cold, then I had COVID, then COVID took a second to recover from. Then I had a really bad yeast infection. Like, it was just, I know, yeah, I'm sharing it. I know Jesse's, like, sitting here surprised. But, like, I just feel like I just haven't been able to catch a break. Then I had really bad digestion issues, like, and it's just been coming in waves. And, like, there's really hasn't been 1 week since September where I have been, like, I've had no issues. Maybe there's been 1 or 2. Right. But not really. I feel like every week something's happening with some body part of mine that it's just been a real struggle.
I feel the exact same way. It's like I was on a pretty good workout regimen before we went to Prague. And then I came back sick. Mm-hmm. And then just was like a super stressful time. And what just had not been able to get back into the gym. And then just as I was starting to get back into it, like I had like this uncomfortable pain in my groin and just wasn't really sure what that was about. And actually went to the doctor, not this week, but the week before, a specialist who I trust, we trust pretty well. We've known him for a year now. And he's like, no, everything's good. He's like, if anything, it might be like a small potential hernia. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, okay. So like I was just starting to get back working out, and he's like, yeah. So all you have to really do is just take it easy. Just like apply warmth and just take it easy for a little bit. I'm just like, damn it.
I know.
Just getting back into like a workout regimen, sidetracked again.
No, it's been health. The health.
Yeah,
it
health
feels like
sucked fall. It has been.
The year. It's been like it's either you or me, I guess. It shouldn't be like I haven't had a week, but it's like either we're going with you to the doctors or something, or I'm going, or we're figuring something out, or one of us is like, I have to go and sleep, and it's like 6:30 at night. It's just like it's been a lot of recovering, but then like now, kind of in like retrospective, hearing about like our summer and how hard we push, it kind of makes sense. Like it is a little bit of it isn't. It's not a little bit. It is burnout. It feels like burnout.
Yeah. It
seems like burnout because now looking back on summer, like we went full speed ahead. Yeah. So it's definitely
we didn't get to the beach much. Like I just last weekend surfed for the first time in a long time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've been neglecting our self-care.
No, absolutely. And like we haven't hiked as much as we used to. Like I think last year we even hiked a lot more. But speaking of hiking, the favorite memory of this time is our trip to Zion for your birthday and hiking Angel's Landing.
I was going to say watching Delwyn carry Vedu out of the canyon when we were hiking.
That was back in the spring, my love. That was that camping trip. No.
All right, yeah, Zion was amazing.
It was absolutely amazing. I've posted so many videos of that trip on social media too. It's just like, it was absolutely beautiful. And then hiking Angel's Landing, and the sun was coming out, but it was also snowing, big snowflakes right as we got to the top. That view, we did not anticipate like that stunning of a view, and it just was absolutely amazing. I mean, I know then it started to like snow and come down, but like the moment we hit the top of Angel's Landing, it was just absolutely beautiful.
It was. Yeah. And I liked it because it was a legitimate hike.
Yeah.
That wasn't a lot of it was like we've talked about, I think, on the podcast where we talked about that when we were there. But like, yeah, it was a manicured trail, to a point. And then there was a point where it was, you literally could take one step into just nothingness air.
Yeah.
And I like that. Like I just miss that level of intensity where it is like you have to pay attention. It's not, it's not a walk. It's like it's a hike, it's a climb.
Yeah.
You do something stupid, you don't pay attention, you will absolutely fall to your death.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. And we do have an episode about that trip too, which I'll provide a link in the show notes for you if you'd like to hear more about it. And the unexpected moment, I couldn't think of anything. And fall includes October to December.
October to December.
Yeah, because it's the last 3 months of the year, October, November, December. But unexpected, I mean, haven't been really anything unexpected. Like, I've been very busy, like socially. We've had lots of social stuff happening, social engagements. I mean, that's kind of unexpected. I wasn't sure how I'd feel. Actually, I guess one unexpected moment is just how, like, on to the next project I felt after I passed my exams. Because I was talking to some friends on Friday and my one friend, she hadn't seen me in a while, and she congratulated me on passing my exam. And then she's like, and I was telling her, I was like, yeah, so now I'm on to the next thing, and I've got a few projects going on, and I'm taking this course. And she's like, you've been working on getting your license for like 3 years. She's like, most people would like take a beat and just like relax, but you were just going. So I guess that's unexpected. I had no idea how I would feel coming off of such an accomplishment, such a milestone. So, but I think an additional moment worth noting, just to kind of wrap up the last year, is I had my Woman in Architecture series, which I guess that was kind of unexpected how that came about. Although I did record all those episodes in the summer. In the month of October, I spoke to 5 architects or women in architecture, some licensed, some pursuing their licensure in architecture, and it was really, really interesting to hear their perspectives and their experiences. And so I really appreciated and just so grateful for meeting all the women and talking to them. That was really, really special for me. And then for you, kind of just another additional moment worth noting is you started bidding your first project for your company.
I did. Yep. Super, super excited about that. A little nervous because in my company, it's just me. I don't have employees because I don't want to deal with payroll and workman's comp just yet. So it's a little intimidating because I'll have to rely heavily on my subcontractors because I won't have the full-time supervision and manpower that I'm accustomed to having at my discretion. But I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, it'll be my first bid under my own company. So yeah, and there's some peripheral relationships involved. Like it's an architect I'm currently working with on another project, and he's a really solid architect, and enjoy working with him. So I know that's a bonus. The potential client is the brother of another client that I have. So there's a little bit of a relationship there. So that's good. But yeah, I'm excited. This next month, I'll be putting that package together and presenting probably mid to end of January is when I anticipate putting that in front of the client. So yeah, I'm excited, nervous, terrified. I'm super confident about the operation side of it. It's the administrative side, which I don't currently have to deal with any administrative work. At least that's not true. I don't have to deal with like payrolls and subcontracting, like all this, the contract stuff I don't have to deal with now. And I'll have to do all that myself. So that'll suck. But
I think this is a great project. The scale, the relationships you have with everybody on the team already. It's a great project for you to kind of take your first swing at. So
yeah, I definitely plan on loading it with a lot of talent.
Mm-hmm.
Like just, and then if the client doesn't accept my proposal, fine, nothing really lost. If they do, then it's like it's a really good, has a really high chance of success because I'm just putting a lot of talented people in front of it. So I'm excited.
I'm excited for you. Well, cheers to
the fall.
To the fall and end of 2022. All right, so you've gotten the kind of the sense of the superlatives now.
Mm-hmm.
And so for the whole year.
Oh my gosh, the whole year.
What would you say the biggest accomplishment is?
You becoming licensed.
Thanks,
for sure. I mean, that could be like of the decade.
Yeah, I mean, on my personal scale, yeah, I would say that was the biggest accomplishment for me of the decade.
That's huge.
And my goal was to get it done by the time I was 30, and like I feel like I'm still 30, so I got into that window, that frame that I wanted to. So it's really important for me to have gotten it done by the end of this year, and battling COVID and travel and I really pushed it.
And you've got multiple projects at work. So they're all in like varying stages of completion, and I feel like you're getting a lot of positive exposure with clients, which means you're at the city quite a bit more, so you're getting a lot of positive exposure at the city with staff. So that's, I think it's really good.
No, absolutely. And I have like the nicest clients. There's only like one that we're almost done with, hopefully soon, but otherwise all my other clients are like, it's just like the dream team of clients.
Yeah.
It really is.
Same.
Yeah, same.
I'm in the same boat. I've got all great clients except for one that just kind of popped back up from the past. So
we should do an episode with you, like sharing contractor stories.
Oh God, bless.
You've been in the industry longer than I have, so I'm sure you've got some fun stories. But yeah. No, we'll definitely. I have that in the books for you next year too. Then would you say what the biggest letdown overall was?
Of the whole year?
Of the whole year. I guess I have to think about that too. Is like, what would be the biggest letdown?
My biggest letdown was in the summer. So I work for my dad. So my dad has a construction company, and he has some health issues. So for the most part, I run all the day-to-day operations in the field. We have roughly $16 million in contract work ongoing right now. That's only divided up against 3 projects. So we do fairly high-end work. So the summer I tried to like late spring, early summer, I tried to negotiate him and I like teaming up to where I would be either a partner or not a partner, like a salaried percentage earner, because I am doing the majority of the work and all of that. I've cultivated and bid and brought all those clients in for all of that work, and we were not able to come to an agreement on how I would best be compensated for my role in all of that. So that sucked. It did lead to me just finally just saying, you know what, I just needed my own company. So I guess that's good that was sort of the catalyst that propelled me into that but it does mean like so I'm bidding this project now, and I'm bidding a larger project next spring. But it does mean I will be working 2 jobs, which is not, it's like a lot of people have 2 jobs or 3 jobs or whatever, but it's not like I'm having 2 part-time jobs. I'll be running 2 companies. Like, I'm not really looking forward to that. Like, it'll be nice to have the money to be able to start funding future projects, but it's going to suck in the sense of be working double time. And so I'm not really looking forward to that. I really would have preferred to join forces and take on all of this work and a little bit more, but not having to do quite so much of it myself. So that's probably my biggest letdown of the year. What about yours? What's your biggest letdown of the year?
I was thinking about it as you were talking about, like, if it was something at work or, I mean, I think not passing my exams faster and having them drag out till pretty much the last end part of the year. Not being able to pass PDD back in spring because I feel like that really took an emotional and mental toll on me, and a physical toll, and it just, so I think the biggest letdown is of how much they affected me, these exams. Now in hindsight, did I learn a lot? Did I persevere? Was this a huge challenge? Am I, can I give a whole lecture about how failure sucks, but you can persevere? Absolutely. But I would say I'm so happy to be done. I wish I was done sooner, but you can't change the path that you're on and the journey that you took to get here. So that's kind of where that is. Yeah, and then favorite memory
was you passing. I know it sucks. It's not a cop out though. It's not like, oh, I just don't feel like thinking of something. Yeah. It was like, because we have it on video.
That was gonna be mine. So
yeah, so it's like it's easy to like, you really can remember that moment because I put my phone on the dashboard of the car and recorded and then met you, and like we open the results, at that. And so, yeah, that's my favorite moment, my favorite memory of the year.
That's kind of mine too. And I know it's like one of the more recent ones, and like even trying to think back on like fun like trips we had and camping and going to Big Bear, and we had the hot tub, and like,
yeah, there's a lot of competition. Like for a favorite memory,
yeah.
There's, I mean, we were in Belize, we were in
amazing.
Prague, we were camping, we were in Colorado, we were in Topanga Canyon. I mean, there was a lot. There's a lot going on.
I went to Mammoth. I went skiing for the first time in like 2.5 years. Like, so there's just like,
there was a lot, but that moment, it was so huge.
It was huge.
Yeah.
It was definitely huge. And then unexpected moment. I know mine.
Mine unexpected was actually buying Betty.
Really?
Yeah. I just because I've watched that car for so long, from January to August. I just didn't really ever think it was going to happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was definitely unexpected for me.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, I would say I had one and then I completely lost it. Oh, probably testing positive for COVID for the first time. I was like, oh, I totally thought when you told me I tested positive like immediately, I'm like, you're just shitting with me. Like, no, I'm not. Like, I just have a really bad cough and I'm dying, but I'm fine. So that was unexpected. And then I think one unexpected thing that happened was the financial kind of issue that came up this year, and having to owe over $10,000 to the government on a faux pas that happened that was not really in my control. I was misled, incredibly misled, on a huge financial issue. Yeah. And that was definitely something unexpected. I haven't really talked about it on the podcast. There is a podcast I have about leaking finances and Vastu Shastra and what that all means, and so I'll definitely provide a link in the show notes for that. But so that was definitely something unexpected. What's that?
That's how many links you've mentioned that you were going to put in the show notes.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah.
I'm helping you keep track. There's 5 so far that you've mentioned.
Oh, I make a list when I listen back to it.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, my love.
You're welcome.
You're so sweet. Yeah, no, I always listen back and I provide the links. But thank you. I appreciate you. You got my back.
That's right.
For sure. But yeah, so those are some unexpected moments for sure.
Yeah, I think about your COVID, because you have gone. I've had COVID twice, and you've never gotten it.
Yeah, and we didn't quarantine when you got it. I'm just like, well, I'm probably just gonna have it like a day after you. We sleep in the same.
We
room.
quarantined from other people.
Yeah, no,
like you mentioned earlier in this podcast. We quarantined from other people, but you and I didn't quarantine from each other. We slept in the same bed. You know, all that. We just did a regular routine.
Because it seemed inevitable that I was going to get it.
Yeah, and then you wouldn't get it. So like the first time was, March of 2020, and then January of this year. But yeah, you didn't get it either time. And then you go to check and come back with it. And you were sick. Yeah, you were definitely sick. But it was just like when we travel, we always take a COVID test when we come home, just out of being responsible. Before we go back to our offices and go back into society here, we always take a COVID test. And you really, I think that was really why you took the COVID test. You were feeling sick. So I think when we took it, it was just like, oh well, you just got back from Prague, so let's take the COVID test. And yours came up positive. Man, you were so pissed off.
I know. I did because I've been so.
You wore a mask all the way. I didn't even wear a mask on the plane. We flew back separately. No.
Yeah. Are you kidding me?
No, I didn't wear a mask.
I wore like 5 masks.
I didn't wear a mask. I didn't wear a mask there, and I didn't wear a mask back.
I wore a mask both places, and I disinfected everything around me. I was so
I disinfected
cautious.
Stuff.
Yeah, I made you. I didn't give you a sanitary pack or something with you. I must have sent you with some stuff. But yeah, no, I was. So that's definitely unexpected. But overall, it was a great year, and I can't wait for the rest of this month. And with that, this is the last episode of the year.
Wow.
Yeah. So that means I'll be back in the first Friday of January will be the new episode of 2023.
Wow.
So definitely, we're taking the next 2 weeks off. Or I'm taking the next 2 weeks off. And just kind of enjoying Christmas, New Year's, the holidays. We've got my mom coming into town. We've got some fun. We're going to LA to see Lindsay Sterling, a violinist I really like. And we've got, just family events coming up. It's going to be fun. Any final words?
Nope. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to everybody. I hope you had a great year. We're excited to go into 2023. We hope you're excited also to start a new year, and just hope that there's just less drama this year worldwide, just less shenanigans. Just hopefully 2023 is the year we start to calm things down a little bit.
No, absolutely.
Get some healing going on.
Some universal healing.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, everyone, thank you so much. Also, I wish everybody happy holidays, happy new year, and I can't wait to reconnect with you after the holidays. Jesse, cheers.
Cheers.
And if you like this episode, please give it a heart or thumbs up and click the follow button so you can stay up to date on the latest episodes. You can follow me on Instagram @FromTheHoneycomb_Podcast. Thank you so much, and see you next year.
Thank you so much. See you next year.